Meeting in the Neil Shapiro Center for Performing Arts at the Winthrop High School, 400 Main Street, and this meeting is being televised live. May I have the roll call, please?
Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Lettieri? Mr. Matucci?
Yep.
Ms. Petrie?
Here.
Ms. Swope?
Here.
Ms. Barry? Ms. Powell?
Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Martucci, can you lead us?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence for John Silva. He is a retired Winthrop Middle School math teacher. He spent 40 years in our school system teaching our children, and we're grateful for the time that he was here. Thank you. We have no public comment tonight. We have no delegates and visitors. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of September 11th, 2023?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Ms. Petrie, second by Ms. Leonard. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions?
Abstain.
One abstention noted. Any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. May I have a motion to approve warrant SVW 24-4 in the amount of $332,071.86?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Petrie, second by Mr. Martucci. Any discussion? Hearing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Matucci?
Yes.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes. May I have a motion for payroll warrant SPW 24-05 in the amount of $843,707.79?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Petrie, second by Ms. Swope. Any discussion? Hearing none, can I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
Mr. Matucci?
Abstain.
Ms. Petrie?
Yes.
Ms. Swope?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes. May I have a motion for payroll warrant SPW 24-05A in the amount of negative $3,209.31?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Petrie, second by Mr. Martucci. Can we have a brief explanation of the
warrant is negative.
Oh, the warrant is negative as a few days before the official live checks went out, we had a teacher who resigned. So what ended up happening was, to prevent us from having to track this teacher down and then returning these funds and checks, we just did a quick deposit and then a redeposit out of their bank account back into our bank account. So because it was after we did official payroll, it's a separate warrant that has to be shown for the record, for the auditor records.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, can I, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions or objections? Hearing none, motion passes. We have donation of photography equipment. May I have a motion to accept?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Swope, second by Ms. Petrie. Ms. Howard, can you give us a deeper
Sure.
explanation of
Yes.
this donation?
Thank you. I was at the town fair on a week ago Sunday, down at the park, Ingleside Park, buying vegetables and watching some little kids enjoy some great music down there and all the vendors. And I ran into town council member Flockhart and was introduced to her sister, who just moved here from California, and she was asking me about donating some really not overly used photography equipment to the school if there was any need for that. So we had a really nice conversation about it, and I said, gee, you know, it's Sunday, so do me a favor and follow up with an email to me. If you can just give me a list of the items or mention what the items are, I can then talk to the principal of the high school and Brian Donley, who is somebody here at the high school, could make use of that, those materials if they were materials that were needed by the school. And so she sent me a great Excel spreadsheet, which I believe I included in the packet. Patty, did we put that in there, right?
Yes.
The list of
Yes.
donated items. And I sent that off to Brian Donnelly and Principal Crombie. They were able to go through that and look at how that would enhance their program here in the digital literature class as well as the digital film class. And each one of the items were things that Mr. Donnelly felt would definitely enhance the program and be beneficial. So we reached back out to Ms. Flockhart and told her that we would bring that to the school committee, and if the school committee were to accept them, that we would make arrangements to meet with her and pick those up. So we were very grateful for that donation.
Wonderful, excellent to have those materials. Any discussion?
No, but please, we should probably send a thank you note to her.
Absolutely.
Did you? Yeah, okay.
I have to wait till you guys approve it first, to say thank you after I'm allowed to accept the donation, and then we do send thank you. For any donation, we send thank you notes out.
Very nice, yeah.
Wonderful. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions or opposition? Hearing none, motion passes. May I have a motion to approve the WinArc request for the Special Olympics for the use of buildings and grounds?
Motion to approve.
And does that include a waiver of the fees?
Yes.
Motion by Ms. Swope, second by Mr. Martucci. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Hearing none, motion passes. Do we have a subcommittee report tonight?
No.
No.
No, let it canceled.
Okay. Superintendent's report, please.
Yes, thank you. MCAS presentations by the principals. We received our MCAS data. Our principals are working with our teams of teachers in all of their groups to review the data and have conversations amongst themselves by grade levels, as well as lead teacher meetings at the middle school and high school to really discuss the data and begin to incorporate the steps that we're going to take in any areas of need. Some really nice information that I'm saving for the principals because they are very excited to be able to come in and report to the school committee. They want to come in and do their report to give you the breakdown of the data that we have, but also be able to have some, if not all, at least some from their data meetings, points that they're going to be using and to address any areas that need continued improvement. So they'll be coming to the October 30th school committee meeting. Each principal will do their presentation. Mr. McEnany will also speak, although MCAS does not exist pre-K to 2. There's certainly data that we collect through our assessments that we do with our students that I think is pertinent. And I believe he'll talk a little bit about illustrative math and where we're at with onboarding illustrative math at K to 2. So excited about having those presentations. We talked a little bit about donations, a donation from Ms. Flockhart. And I think it's important for the committee, but also the public to know that we truly appreciate donations to the school. And if there are groups or families that would like to make donations to the school department and supplement the materials and supplies or other aspects of the school happenings that we have here, we ask that you please reach out initially to the principal and have a conversation with the principal about what you're thinking so we can help give you some direction. Sometimes folks, have something that they really want to give, and oftentimes the principal can help guide you as to what we could use for supplemental materials in the best way. Typically what they will do, if somebody wants to donate athletic equipment, he'll meet or she will meet with the athletic director, talk to the athletic director. If it's something for music or chorus or art or anything of the like, or even monetary donations, the building principal is the best person to start with, so he can go and give back information to you to really give you a sense of what we could benefit from here in the school, so as not to duplicate efforts. So again, we appreciate anybody who wants to make a donation. We just want to make sure that it's worth your time and your effort, and that we do it correctly, and then we bring it to the school committee for approval of those donations. Starting once a month, starting in the month of October, Hannah Parker, who is our current Winthrop High School senior class president, as well as the Stuco president. She'll be attending school committee meetings on a monthly basis, and bring to you the voice of the students in the senior class. We're soliciting a junior as well. Mr. Crombie is still working on that. Students' extracurricular activities sometimes tie them up a little bit, so we're working on also having a junior come in and provide that. Just a 5-minute synopsis of things that are upcoming, things that are important to their class, and be able to answer any questions that you have. October 4th is Walk to School Day, so we're excited about that. We've done this for several years in a row now. We publicize it on Facebook, principals publicize it to parents, and it is definitely a well attended. I think the students like the fact that it's a big deal to walk to school on that day. Parents get excited and get involved. Just talk a little bit. This year we adjusted our admin meetings. So I speak with the administrators, principals, assistant principals, and special education administrators, as well as the PPS director, the assistant superintendent, the athletic director, almost daily. Not everybody on the same day, but pretty much daily. But we were having formal meetings 1 to 2 times a month, topic focused for us. And it can be anything from, the first 2 that we've had so far have been focused on getting back to school, staffing, common practices, creating consistent practices across school districts in certain areas. And this year we really felt strongly that we needed to commit to twice a month without fail. And so this September, the first couple were about the opening of school and the needs that we had. The collaboration in those meetings is really necessary to have all the administrators in one space, so that they can bounce different scenarios off each other and really help each other in the moment, as opposed to making a few phone calls, calling a colleague, and things kind of getting lost. Because if you're a principal and you have a question about something, the likelihood that the other 3 principals have the same question is pretty strong. Other topics that we're focused on, will continue to be focused on this month, is teacher evaluation, the consistency of our practice, and with principals making sure, and the other administrators, they also evaluate that we're really following a time schedule without fail for the multiple observations. Unique to this year and somewhat of last year is new teachers. So new teachers require a lot more observation than a seasoned teacher or a professional status teacher, which can become overwhelming. So we work together to set up a timeline and a Google Doc, actually, that allows each principal, assistant principal, and special ed administrator access to and reminders to make sure you're getting into class, doing observations. We are also working the end of this month into October on look-fors in classrooms. So we'll have standard look-for practices that we'll share with the teachers, so that they understand whether it's a formal observation or an informal observation, that the look-fors are going to be the same in each classroom. So we're finalizing that document now, and I'll be able to share that document with the committee so you can have a sense of what each person is looking for. The consistency of that across the school district is important, because it allows us, when we're doing our evaluations, to provide equity to those evaluations, and not have one principal looking for cultural, responsive behavior in a classroom, and then another principal maybe not looking at that during their walkthroughs. So we want to be consistent across the district. So more to come on that now. We'll share that with you once we finalize it. Talking about some things at individual schools, Gorman Fort Banks had a successful curriculum night last Tuesday on the 19th. It was well attended with many positive reviews from the community. Principal McEnany felt the connection with a lot of families and their willingness to come up and speak with him, have conversation, and let them know what about the night they enjoyed, which was helpful to him. They had a great ice cream social last Friday night, sponsored by the PTO. They had over 300 families attend. That's really sky high for us. So I think that's great. It shows, parents really wanting to engage with other folks. Under student highlights, Mr. McEnany filled me in that the reading assessments are in the process of being conducted, so that they'll have a solid assessment and base assessment for students in K-2. And their focus for the month on data review is around the K-2 reading, and they'll be looking at RTI groups as well as Tier 2 small reading groups as an outcome for intervention once those benchmark assessments are completed. At the Cummings School, the MWRA visited grade 4 and grade 5. They are a consistent being and presence in our school district. I think the kids love to do the MWRA poster contest. We've had winners there many a year. Parent-teacher conferences are coming up in October. And a reminder that Mrs. O'Leary would like me to make families aware of, that School Street and the 21st Century Loop are a rolling drop-off and pickup only. So a rolling drop-off doesn't mean leave your car and drive and get out, or park your car and get out. It's a movement. So the students come out, your child gets in, and you continue on your way. She's also asking to remind people not to idle their cars. So if they pull up 20 minutes early while still sitting in your car, please turn it off and don't allow the cars to idle, and that's at all of our schools. Let's see. Upcoming events for them. First PTO meeting is Wednesday, September 27th at 6:30 in the ATC cafeteria, so just a reminder about that. Winthrop Middle School, they had their back-to-school night on the 21st, and fairly strong attendance. Mr. Curley would like to see it better. They do lots of outreach for families to remind them and encourage them to come. We know people's schedules sometimes can be tight. He reports to me that the cross-country boys and girls team had their first meet yesterday on 9/21. He failed to tell me if they won, but I'll double-check that. And let's see. Okay, so the school resource officer, the school attendance officers, and the Winthrop Middle School administration have done an excellent job following up on, as well as the secretaries, on the reestablished residency process, and that has been a sort of a tough battle. So when people don't attend one of the, 25 opportunities in the summer to reestablish residency, we then follow up with those families to ensure that they remain residents. And that has gone on both at the Arthur T. Cummings School, the middle school, and the high school. Let's see. Upcoming events, there's an early release day across the district on the 4th. So parents need to be mindful of that. And at the middle school, sticking with them, Picture Day is October 2nd. Many reminders are going out to families. We have Life Touch this year, which is consistent across the school district. It is a, we talk a lot about consistency of practice for our families. We have multiple photo vendors in the past, different photo vendors per school. We felt strongly that having one vendor would definitely be more consistent for families to help them better understand how the process works for our students. Student highlights, Mr. Curley would like to recognize Ryan Brennan, who finished second in the cross-country boys meet versus Peabody, and Haley DeMarco, who finished second in the cross-country girls section of the meet. Mr. Crombie reports that class elections for grade 10, 11, and 12 have taken place over the last 2 weeks, and he found the students to be very invested and involved in it, and their speeches were excellent, so he was excited that took place. Ball sports are off to a great start for us this year in terms of the total number of students involved. And his upcoming events are a parent-teacher conference meeting tonight, but I think it's tomorrow night. He wrote tonight, but I believe it's tomorrow night. I'll double-check before the end of the meeting. He has it is tonight, because he has International Parent Family Night tomorrow night at 6:30 here at the high school. Mr. Crombie did this International Parent Night last year, so for a lot of our newcomers coming in, he invites the families to come in to understand the process at the high school, all the opportunities for students at the high school, and we bring interpreters in. We use some of our internal folks to do that as well, and students, to be able to help families. Students are allowed to attend, help families feel more comfortable and welcomed, and understanding what it is that is offered here at the high school for the new coming families. College Fair is going to be at Winthrop High School on October 19th from 6:30 to 7:30. I've been to it a number of times. We have a lot of students attend the College Fair, a lot of ninth graders. We encourage ninth graders to come so that they can get a sense of what schools look like, what school they might want to attend, and just sort of have a vision for themselves. Student highlights for Mr. Crombie: John Tracy, he's a senior with us. He received a letter of commendation from the National Merit Scholarship Program for his outstanding performance on the preliminary SAT and the National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test in 2022. So kudos to John. That's excellent for him. And that is, I believe, all I have. I don't think I missed anything, Patty.
Any questions? Do we have any homeschool applications?
I think Sue.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just one real quick. I see that Mr. Beck is retiring, and I know he's a long-term teacher, and I
Yes.
just want to shout out the wonderful things that I've heard about him in terms of his ability to teach math. And I think many of the students who consider themselves interested in math, maybe that's not as many as we would like, but he certainly has done a lot with students who like achieving, work hard and like achieving high-level grades in math. And so I want to just recognize him for the long-term service and the work he's done for the kids.
Wonderful. Do we have any homeschool applications?
Not this week, we do not. I forgot to add that Ms. Gallivan, Laurie Gallivan, will be attending all the school committee meetings moving forward. At my request and at her request, it was a discussion that we had. We felt she enjoys coming to the school committee meetings. I think she brings a lot of knowledge and certainly can answer questions in the curriculum arena that may not be solidly planted in my head. So she will start coming as of the next meeting.
Appointments, resignations, and retirements?
Yep, so no appointments for this week. Resignations: Courtney McSweeney, who is an ESP at the Arthur T. Cummings School. She has assumed the position as a third grade teacher here for us. So resignation, although it seems kind of sad, it's actually exciting for her as she had become a certified teacher and has, taken an open position here with us. So we look forward to working with her. Ashley Monopoulos, who is an ABA technician, she has resigned, and Kristen Coffey, who is an ESP at the Gorman Fort Banks. Then for retirements, as Ms. Swope indicated, Jeff Beck is going to be retiring, I believe in July. I'd have to go back and read it, but I think it's July, which is probably synonymous with his birth date. So he will be moving on to some calmness, lack of a schedule. He had a granddaughter this summer, so that's exciting for him. So I'm sure he's looking forward to spending some time with his new grandchild. We have no postings at this time or any leaves of absence.
Okay. Under the new business, we have the anticipated vote to approve the Winthrop Administrator's Memorandum of Agreement. We are going to push that to the next meeting as we need to have more notification on that. We need that document. And the anticipated vote to approve the Assistant Superintendent's contract will also be pushed off. We need to have another meeting of that subcommittee. We have no unfinished business. Any public relations?
This is I don't know what we want to do with this, but I do remember that we talked about having Zoom meetings, and we voted on that, and we voted to do them. And then we were going to wait until after we got through negotiations, and then we kind of never followed through on that. I don't know if the committee wants to rethink that vote or whatever, but we did vote to do it, and we aren't doing it, so.
That was an issue that is and remains in the policy subcommittee.
Well, then can we
think
hear-
it was resolved, though, Jen, that we were going to televise the meetings.
It was not resolved. It did not come out of the policy. The policy subcommittee has not completed their deliberations to send it back to us.
Can you remind me who the chair of the policy committee is?
And that would be Julie Berry. And we can have that discussion.
Okay.
So are they going to then meet on it, and then it'll come back to us?
We
Is that-
can discuss that after the meeting, please. With no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed or abstentions? Hearing none, motion is adjourned.